school face while managing various activities, so we endeavor to automate and simplify their tasks. Besides 100% accountability and communication, safety, security and stability are also vital. The speed, accuracy of the information and the dependability on the service providers ensures a smile on the faces of the customers. We do understand that learning is based on various factors, and we acknowledge the need of 3D contents, augmented reality and virtual reality can help visual and kinesthetic students excel in learning, helping us prepare a new India. The long association of schools, repeated sales, reference sales and delivering as an innovator in the education domain. The new philosophy of the company is to look for new, next and better in every area. Entab is an educational technology company that has been delivering solutions since 2000 to improve the productivity, efficiency and reputation of a good school and transform it into the best school. We understand the problems schools face while managing various activities, so we endeavor to automate and simplify their tasks. Besides 100% accountability and communication, safety, security and stability are also vital. The speed, accuracy of the information and the dependability on the service providers ensures a smile on the faces of the customers. We do understand that learning is based on various factors, and we acknowledge the need of 3D contents, augmented reality and virtual reality can help visual and kinesthetic students excel in learning, helping us prepare a new India. The long association of schools, repeated sales, reference sales and delivering as an innovator in the education domain. The new philosophy of the company is to look for new, next and better in every area. Entab is an educational technology company that has been delivering solutions since 2000 to improve the productivity, efficiency, and reputation of a good school and transform it into the best school. We understand the problems schools face while managing various activities, so we endeavor to automate and simplify their tasks. Besides 100% accountability and communication, safety, security, and stability are also vital. The speed, accuracy of the information and the dependability on the service providers ensures a smile on the faces of the customers. We do understand that learning is based on various factors, and we acknowledge the need of 3D contents, augmented reality and virtual reality can help visual and kinesthetic students excel in learning, helping us prepare a new India. The long association of schools, repeated sales, reference sales, and delivering as an innovator in the education domain. The new philosophy of the company is to look for new, next, and better in every area.
Emotional well-being. Good afternoon. And it is about how we think, how we feel, how we behave, how life affects us, and how we cope with it, how we engage with others, and the choices we make. To emphasize and understand more on emotional health and well-being, we have with us today Ms. Monika Chhabra, Principal of MITCON International School, Pune. Welcome to EdTalks, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. And thank you, Nimisha, Rajiv. Thank you, Entab. I welcome all the educators, parents, and students. Thank you for providing me this opportunity where I can share my views on emotional health and well-being. Uh, Educators and parents, and of course my students also, it's very truly said that no medicine cures what happiness cannot. And what is happiness? Happiness is a type of emotion which acts as a catalyst. It is a catalyst to emotional well being. So, in this session, let us try to first understand about emotional health, well being, and then we talk about the causes of anxiety, the prevention, and remedies also for the same. Emotional well being, the term refers to the state of being healthy, being emotionally comfortable, secure, happy, and safe. It includes, you can say, the ability to navigate through your moods, through your feelings, and in a way that it is very effective. And we respond to the events, various events of our lives with less reactivity, or say respond to these events without getting upset. So emotional well-being is, it is associated with balance, understanding, acceptance, respecting the differences, and of course, it leads to constant growth. It is also essential for all of us to understand why is emotional health so vital for us? Why is it that emotional health or emotional quotient has become a burning topic these days? Uh, why is it that we talk about EQ, emotional quotient, along with IQ, intelligence quotient? It is because this aspect of the emotional well-being is a very significant aspect of our overall well-being. It also impacts our thoughts. And since our thoughts lead to our actions are also impacted by our emotional well being. You can say people who are emotionally strong, who are emotionally healthy. They are well in control, and they have complete control over their thoughts and feelings, and hence their actions are also well defined. Such people are always able to cope up with various adversities that they encounter, various challenges that they encounter, and be it student life, professional life, or personal sphere. They become more adaptable, you can say. They are more adaptable, and hence, because of this, they are also having healthier relation with people around them. When I say healthy relation with people around them, it is whether it's family, colleagues, friends. So they tend to have better relationship. Coming to what is the cause of anxiety or emotional issues, you can say. What is the reason that these days even the young generation faces different challenges like anxiety, depression, anger? Some people feel unmotivated, not demotivated, but unmotivated, unenthusiastic. They are miserable, they feel restless, and at times they tend to take decisions that are not justified. Well, among children, among students, one main factor is peer pressure. So it could be peer pressure, it could be the fear of rejection or low self esteem, lack of confidence, insecurity, etc. So at times, what happens that in such situations, when they are performing any task, more than the fear of not performing the task well, the fear is of what my friends will think about me. So whether it's a soccer match or it's performing an exam or just dancing with friends in a party, what is more of an issue that it's not being able to perform well. Instead, it is the fear of rejection. They become very image conscious. Like, I don't want to give my friends that impression that I'm disappointing or I'm hopeless. So this kind of state of mind they develop, and which is not very positive. Or for adults, like, what if I do not get promotion? What will my colleagues or my subordinates think of me? So this state of mind we should change, we should introspect and move towards positive thinking. In fact, I would like to share a case study with all of you, without mentioning the name of the subject, that is the name of the person. A few years back, it's a case of a fireman who rescued a little girl from an inaccessible underground shaft. It was a commendable job done by him, and the rescue operation became one of the most top rated events in the history of world television. And he got famous. There were several interviews lined for him. There was a valedictory parade for him. He got a letter of appreciation from the president. He got to meet the vice president personally. He was called for reality shows, and in fact, there was a movie to acknowledge his efforts and the way he did the commendable job. So he was in the limelight. And then, as time passed on and the cameras started moving away from him, he could not handle that situation. His world collapsed. He found it very difficult to come back to his normal life, and he got very depressed. So, what was it that led him to this situation? It was his approach towards his life to cling on to his fame, cling on to the attention that he was getting. And when it ended, he felt devastated. He was so used to that life and attention that he lost his self worth when that was not happening. So it is very important that we are alert of our feelings when we are in such a situation. For every phase of life, there is a kind of ABC of emotional well being also. So here, when we talk about emotional well-being, A stands for adversity. Adversity, that is the kind of setback we are experiencing or we anticipate experiencing. So A stands for adversity, which directly leads to C. C represents the consequences of that setback. So it could be fear, it could be restlessness, one might feel frustrated, one could be helpless, worried, angry, sad. So C represents the consequences. So while we very rationally relate the state of A leading to the state of C, in between there is a factor B. Now, this factor B represents the beliefs, the deep-seated beliefs that we have. That what would my friends think if I do not win the match? So that belief, which is deep-seated, that I have to have a very good image, I have to do it, that absolute thing that I need to achieve, which has led to consequence C, which is fear or frustration, sadness. Now, this pattern of ABC, we need to alter it. And the key to alter this recurring pattern of anxiety, that is ABC, is to work towards D. Now, here D represents disputing those beliefs. That I don't have to think what my friends think about me. It should not be that if I get promoted, only then I am happy. So that deep-seated belief that this is the way it should happen, only then I'll be happy. That has to be disputed. And in order to dispute D, that is these beliefs, we have to establish that there comes E of this pattern. E is establishing effective and positive strategies. So if I'm not able to successfully complete a task, let me not go towards C. Instead, I should work towards a strategy that I'm able to perform well. I'm able to, whatever I want to achieve, whatever passion I have, I am able to do so. So you have to form a strategy which is more effective and positive instead of directly considering that you in a way that your self-worth is it takes a dip or you feel down about it.
So, ma'am, what basically you're trying to say is that in the end, we're all seeking for validation. For example, if we take the case of Sushant Singh Rajput, right? We all
Yeah.
loved him. We have seen him going through so many highs and lows, and his
Right.
movies have been doing really great and everything. So,
Yeah.
how do we get out of this cobweb wherein each and every one of us is looking for some sort of validation, whether it is from our parents. As kid, I remember as a kid, even my parents used to be like that: if you get these many good grades, I'll gift you a car, or I'll gift you a bike, or I'll gift you a watch, or something of that sort.
Motivation. Yeah,
Yeah,
some
some
motivation.
motivation of that sort. But then
Yeah.
again, isn't it involving us in a trap, or isn't it entrapping us that I need to prove something to everybody else rather than proving it to myself?
Yeah. Yeah. So in such cases, as you mentioned, a very unfortunate incident that happened. So what we should concentrate on is that connectivity. Connectivity is very important. So you connect to people, to your family, to your friends. If you keep that feeling of distress within you, and you try to think, you try to pretend that it is not there, there's no fear or there's no anxiety, it does not help. Instead, you should always accept what you are facing. You should try to talk it out. You should try to speak to your parents, your friends, or go to counselors, because that helps a lot. Now, in schools, what we do that to promote this kind of connectivity, we have group activities. However, now because of the pandemic, it is not happening much, but we have group activities wherein the children work together. So that kind of so when it happens like that, and the teachers also promote that kind of interaction, and the parents are also expected to motivate their children, encourage their children to talk instead of the child is talking and the parent is working either in the kitchen or on the laptop without any distraction. The time, quality time, is to be given to the child. The child should feel connected. So what happens is, because of this talk and regular interaction, it avoids the snowball effect of the smaller issue becoming turning out to be a larger one. Counseling sessions also help a lot, because then in that way the children who are not very comfortable talking to their friends, again because of the fear of rejection, when a teacher speaks to them or the school's counselor speaks to the child, they feel more free and they have ways to make the child talk. So these things help a lot. And another positive aspect that we should think about is, at times we need to, instead of focusing on our thoughts which are carrying our anxiety, we should change our focus. So, indulging into physical activities and games. I'm talking about the students. That helps a lot. But of course, when adults feel this kind of issues, it is always the connectivity with your spouse or your children or your parents that helps a lot, with your colleagues. So that people know what you're going through. Also, you can write down, jot down your deep feelings, internal feelings, what you're facing. Read those feelings, read what you have written, and then you have to objectively evaluate that, is all that worth the panic? Whatever you are feeling, whatever you are going through, is that worth the panic? That also helps. In fact, there's a quick tip when the anxiety level goes very high. A quick tip is that you pop in a cube of ice in your mouth, and that sends big signals to your brain because a sudden temperature in your sudden change of temperature. So your brain gets distracted and your body becomes calm. So, like, in case you are alone at home and you are facing any kind of anxiety, there should be such tools, such steps that are able to calm you down before you are able to talk to someone or connect to someone. So these things are actually very important. And yes, supporting our children and loving them unconditionally, that is also very important. So it is not just about those people who have already got fame that they feel anxious. It's about our children also. So when children are loved unconditionally by their parents, that removes the fear of rejection, that removes that factor of being image conscious. So that is how it helps. Even these days, meditation and of course children may not indulge into medication, but there are breathing exercises. Scientifically it has been proven that if you take deep breath counting 5, and then you hold your breath, say counting till 6, and slowly you exhale counting 7. So this 5, 6, 7, based on your lung capacity, when you do it, say for 5 to 10 minutes, it calms your body. It helps you think more radically. It helps you in taking better decisions. So I guess connectivity does help. And in school, we should have an open door policy. Sensitizing the teachers, sensitizing the parents is a very important aspect, so that our future generation is emotionally secure. We need to make the children also aware that instead of keeping it to themselves, they should, start speaking, start sharing. That will help. And also increasing solidarity. In schools, if we have increased solidarity, in offices, if we connect with each other, that will surely take us a long way in improving our emotional health, making us more emotionally secure.
Absolutely, ma'am. And thank you so much for the quick tip that you gave about breathing and talking about unconditional love and everything. And you spoke about sensitizing the community.
Yes.
If we talk about mental depression and anxiety and some sort of mental
Yes.
health, there is still a stigma or a taboo attached to it. Like if we talk about in general, in a jargon sense, if I want to say that I'm going for a therapy, people automatically think that I have gone bonkers, or I've loosened my nuts or something. But don't you think so? We need to sensitize our entire community as well, and guide them towards a better future in this aspect.
Yes, you are absolutely right. So, what is the first step? First step is to sensitize the parents. If all the schools sensitize the parents and they sensitize their teachers, what is community formed of? It's parents and children, right? So once we, due to by means of some sessions or seminars or by some PPTs, whatever way we talk, informal tete-a-tete we can have. So once we tell them, when we once we spread the awareness, it's not that it will be miraculous and one day everything will be done. But yes, there are steps to it. Today's student will be tomorrow's parent, right? So we are moving in the right direction when we tell them, when we educate them. It is for them, it is for their siblings, their friends. So automatically it spreads. So the first step to be taken is that yes, you do it at your home, you do it in your school. That's the first step to be taken. And naturally, the this awareness gets spread across the community.
Absolutely, ma'am. And if we talk about certain incidents from the past, I'm pretty sure you must have also heard about the boys' locker room and everything. It shows the certain type of psychology which is being built nowadays in kids. What positive and constructive steps can we take to, to guide our students, to guide our children, maybe some quick tips like you said earlier, or some quick how to do stuff at home, because since it's quarantine and there's a lot of pressure on parents, and I'm sure the teachers are also doing their part, but then again that one-on-one connect is a bit missed out right now.
Yes.
So what positive activities can a child undertake to build their self morale and their psychology at this point of time?
Okay, so it also depends on what the interest, what different interests that the child has. It's always better that the child, the student, or even the adults, they indulge themselves in activities that makes them feel happy. It could be probably just playing carom board with your family. It could be writing a diary. It could be, indulging yourself in an activity or some kind of creative work, art and craft. It can be anything. It can be also some kind of games that you play at home to indulge yourself and then deviate yourself from those thoughts and be mentally and physically agile, active. Probably playing a volleyball with balloons at home. That's a good idea. So what I mean to say is that you have to keep yourself active and involved, and especially with the loved ones around you. So when you are with your loved ones, you tend to be more happy and you tend to share. And here comes the role of the parents, that they talk to the children what kind of issues and concerns they are facing. They should make them feel free to. They should make themselves approachable, right? So at home, the activities could be whatever resources you have around. You try to do some kind of art and craft work. You try to sing a song and record it and share it with your friends, right? So you can always try singing. You can dance and record your video. You can do something which is different what your teacher has taught, and you think of out of box and indulge into some kind of experimenting something with the resources around and share it with your teacher. So these things will keep your mind agile. And when your mind is agile, active, you will always be away from the negative thoughts.
Wonderful, ma'am. And like the saying goes, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. That's
Yes.
absolutely true. So, a quick question from YouTube, ma'am. What is your take on recognition versus integration in school environment?
All right. See, integration, when we talk about integration, it is basically in schools or with respect to academics, it is integrating different disciplines. Like these days, we are also talking about integrating art with the various subjects. Then integration in another way is the students, they should stand integrated. That is, whenever there's an activity, a group activity, everyone should pitch in and they have to do it. Of course, recognition is a factor which is loved by everyone, that whenever we do something, whenever we perform a task, they should be appreciated. So that appreciation is nothing but recognition that yes, I stand apart from others. So to some extent, it is fine because till the time it is leading you towards a positive motive of performing well, fine. But in case it develops a kind of crab mentality, then you are deviating from the right path. So what I feel, whatever we have, whatever we want to achieve, or the recognition that we want to acquire, if we are balanced in our approach, it always acts as positive. But if we talk about something that leads to crab mentality and an unhealthy competition, then it for sure is not right. And that is the reason, that we have started with a grade system. Since years now, we have changed. Instead of giving marks, we also talk about giving grades, so that feel of not being appreciated or lagging behind is not there. But at the same time, I feel the positive motive of performing the task well and getting appreciated is required to certain extent, which will make the child put in efforts to do well. But it should not be that it goes haywire and there's too much of unhealthy feeling that is developed in between. So everything that comes with a balance is always appreciated and approved.
Wonderful, ma'am. Another question. If I know there are a lot of questions because the session is going so great. So, as parents are worried about pay cuts, shortage of funds, life has taken a few steps back. A
Could
demand
you,
of the child, which is
sorry,
life has taken a few steps back, right? Hello.
no, could you start again
Yeah.
the question from the beginning?
Yeah, ma'am. So I just received a text on my WhatsApp. One of our subscribers who's watching it. So they personally messaged me that a demand of the child, which was earlier met with ease, has now been curbed or put on hold because of the quarantine and COVID situation. Because there are pay cuts and there are shortage of funds and people are not getting paid and everything. So as the child does not understand this new avatar of parent, he is confused what to do in such type of situations.
Okay, first of all, I would say that for all of us, it is a learning. It is a learning that, student life should not be given too many facilities. Earlier, we used to have this Gurukul system where the children used to go and without any special facilities for them, they used to study. Now, what happens is that, as this parent said, that we provide them so much facilities and they are used to that ease and other things that they would be doing, which now is now not there. So it's a learning for all of us that we should focus on the mental and emotional development of child rather than the materialistic development, right? We should always think about this. Now that the situation is already there, that we have trained our children in a way that they want to acquire a few things or they have a different kind of lifestyle, but because of pandemic the parents are not able to provide that. It could be because of pay cuts or because they're not able to move out. So now we need to kind of do a churning inside us and think how we can counsel the child. So a small child will not understand the pay cuts, of course, but then we should always explain with the help of examples of what is happening around. We can talk about the people who are not blessed with what we have been blessed with, probably the domestic help that comes, or the gardener around, and we should explain it to them that let us try to live in this situation and understand, try to empathize how it is. And yes, uh, happiness doesn't come only with all these things. So a child will not understand just by explaining, but by showing it to the child, engaging the child, making the child feel that yes, this is also something which I'm enjoying. That I'm listening to a bedtime story with my parents. That okay, if my parents are not able to purchase a new T-shirt for me, probably an old T-shirt they have painted it a little and given to me. That now this is something very cool, right?
Right.
So based on what the child wants, if it's something good food and the child is not able to go to a restaurant, we have YouTube channels and then we have lots of recipes there.
Yeah.
So with whatever resources we have, we need to make the child happy, whether doing some kind of art and craft work, some kind of if they have some kind of jeans, let them paint something on it and make it look very good. So they need not go and buy branded jeans outside. They can the girls can always take whatever is there at home and they can try to make a small bracelet out of it. They can make new recipes, they can do some painting and put it on the wall. So these things will bring happiness. It will not happen in a day because it's our fault that we have not done it earlier. So the children find happiness only going to mall or only watching a movie or only going for a birthday. They find happiness only in going to a birthday party. So
Right.
instead, why can't we have a virtual birthday party where all the friends are there and we are decked up and we talk about it. In fact, my school is starting birthday celebration virtually one Saturday
Congratulations.
a
Yeah.
month. Yes. So these things we need to be innovative. We ourselves need to have that enthusiasm, right? So how to bring novelty. Sitting at home, how to bring novelty so that the children are engaged and they are happy and they do not miss that materialistic things that they were getting earlier. And as a learning, I would say to all the parents that this has taken us by surprise. So we should be prepared. We should also make our children strong and mentally prepared that whatever resources are available, we should make the best use of that.
Right. And adaptability is the key, I guess.
Adaptability is the key, right?
So, ma'am, one more thing. So, as a child, or when I was growing up, as in college as well, a book which really helped me introspect was "The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari" by Robin Sharma. So, and is there, according to you, what I'm pretty sure people would like to know, if there's any book or an activity you suggest for supporting children's mental health? Maybe they can read some books.
Yeah. So I'll speak both about the books and activities. When it comes to activities, we usually have this activity called Joy of Giving. So, how do we train our children? Okay, someone comes to your birthday party, he gives you gifts. Or the child who's going to the birthday party feels that I'll be getting a return gift. So, what are we encouraging? We are encouraging that, yes, that we are somewhere sowing the seed of greed, which is not right. Instead, if we talk about joy of giving, we can celebrate a week in a year or by twice in a year, where we actually give and then we learn to have that feeling of satisfaction. We inculcate that feeling of satisfaction, which will help a lot. So this joy of giving is something which I feel everyone should do. Also, something towards environment, making a feeder. Yeah. So when a person finds happiness in giving to someone or providing something to the environment, the child will, as an adult, will also carry the same kind of feelings, the same kind of characteristics, which will help him and the parent in the long run. When it comes to books for students, I feel instead of reading, the other books, what I feel is that even a Panchatantra story, which gives good morals, is very good. I would not like the children to read a story where probably a princess kissed the frog and the frog turned into a prince. So for children, I guess the stories that provide good morals, whether it's Panchatantra or such books, they
Malgudi
also
Days.
help a lot. Yes.
Malgudi Days by R.K. Narayanan. It used to,
Malgudi Days by R.K.
yeah.
Narayan, yes.
So all these books, yeah, we grew up reading all these books, but I guess they are lost into our younger generation and everything. That's very
We can
unfortunate.
always have in our library, and currently, I mean, if the library is inaccessible, we also have the e-books, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we can always, refer to those. Parents can, just before the child selects, it's better that the parent checks and then allows them to read.
Right. So, one last question, ma'am. I received a WhatsApp, and it's a very serious question because this was asked to by a very close friend of mine. He asked me, "How do I know that my child has a mental health problem? Are there any warning signs or telltale signs?"
Okay, so the symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be very observant. Is your child as per the age is bubbly, is talking to you, is playing with friends, is talking over phone with his grandparents, is sharing with you, or so these things initially it is like this. And if the child is going to school, then you have to get a feedback from the teachers, because teachers they get to understand that the child tends to be away from others, or the child is in a very fighting mood, the child is violent, or the child just to draw attention is not writing completing the homework. So something that is not very normal, if something like that is happening, the child likes to be in solace, then this is something that is disturbing. So it need not be that, yes, there is some mental issue, but we need to just at least start checking. Start checking why is this happening, right? So it's always good to befriend our children's friend also. So we get to know, we talk casually, we talk, we get to know what happened in the school, what you get to know from your child, what you get to know from his company, from his friends, right? So
Right.
these things we need to be a little alert, and at times a small hug also will tell you that yes, your child is a little depressed or has some kind of concerns. So that's this initial part that I'm saying, right?
Right.
And if you actually detect something like that, it's always better that first you talk and then you also involve counselors.
Right. And ma'am, how important? I'm so sorry. I said that was the last question, but I've been so engrossed in this session with you. You spoke about just now. You mentioned counselors. I remember,
Yes.
yeah, when I was growing up in my school, there was a counselor by the name of Savita ma'am, and she was a second mother to me. Um, so I wanted to know how important is the role of a counselor in a school.
Counselor plays a very vital role in schools. One is because the counselor is able to spread awareness, because it's not just that counselor speaks to one child who's undergoing a problem. The counselor needs to have a regular period in all the classes wherein she talks in general about the different aspects and different phases of life, and talks to them and also makes them speak. So that is one part. That is in general, because she also inculcates some values in them. Then coming to when if a child is facing certain issues, then we have special counseling sessions. So the counselor always have a knack to make the child talk. Probably not in first, second session, but the third session. So if any child is not having that comfort speaking to the parents, speaking to the class teacher, the counselor makes the child comfortable by his or her own ways, and they make the child feel more comfortable in relieving their problems and sharing their problems. So that is very essential. Also, if the child is unaware, at times we are not aware that we are facing that anxiety. So they see the behavioral pattern of children. The teacher also might not detect, But when they see the children, they see that the behavioral pattern is going in the right way or not. So at times they themselves decide that yes, this child needs counseling without any complaint coming to them, without the parents seeking any help. So they are very observant. So spreading awareness and observing the children, sensitizing other teachers, and sensitizing the children also, because if there's some kind of bullying going on, then it is very important for us to sensitize those children that yes, this is wrong, and it has a very bad impact on the emotional health of the child who's being bullied. So all this is being taken care of by the counselor, and then they maintain proper records, and they see how the graph of the child goes. Whether the child is now developing emotionally in a positive way or not. So, and that's why we all have counselors in us.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much for this lovely session. And I hope all of our questions were answered. It was great to have you on Ed Talks. If you want to add something, please go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for listening to me. And yes, I would always say, whether it's adults or children, let us not hide our feelings from ourselves. Let's be transparent. Let us accept what we are going through and share it with others. Because once we share, then we also find a path where we are able to emerge the way, some way, so that we can emerge out of our anxiety and lead a healthier and happier life. So do not curb your feelings within yourself. You have to share it with your parents, teachers, your friends, so that there are people who can guide you in case you have any kind of anxiety that you're undergoing.
Wonderful, ma'am. Yeah, sharing is the key. And for everybody else listening, thank you for tuning in. And please subscribe to our channel, ma'am. You also subscribe to our channel. Click the bell icon, and we'll get back to you. We'll have one more, few more lovely sessions with you, just like these.
Sure.
Have a nice day,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Take care, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.